Bleach Rebirth of Souls is looking like one of the most ambitious arena fighters we've ever seen. I say this because it may not be the typical arena fighter we're actually used to. Just the other day we got brand new gameplay for Rebirth of Souls that gave us a better look at what the game actually plays like, as well as a bunch of different trailers over the course of these past few weeks to truly show how stylistic and crazy this game is going to be. Seeing full gameplay was something that we were all looking forward to because everything up to now has been really good trailer magic that makes the game look amazing, but it was really hard to understand how it actually plays. Now with this gameplay as well as amazing breakdowns from different creators, we can actually get a better understanding of how this combat system works and see if Rebirth of Souls is just an arena fighter or could it possibly be leaning more to an actual fighting game. I pretty much have a general idea where I think the game is going to go, and I think it's going to have a lot of us excited because I believe the direction they're going to be taking with Bleach Rebirth of Souls will make the game a lot bigger than a lot of you guys are probably thinking. Okay, so first off, when looking at the gameplay for Rebirth of Souls, we can see the general movement of the game is quite different from traditional arena fighters. See, normally with most arena fighters, characters have full 360 control over their character to traverse the entire 3D space and attack at any angle they please. This form of movement is present in Naruto Storm, Dragon Ball Budokai Tenkaichi, My Hero One Justice, and almost any other arena fighter that you can think of. This is something that fans of the genre have grown accustomed to and is what we generally expect from our arena fighters. But in Rebirth of Souls, we can see that the game doesn't allow the same full 360 movement like the previous games we mentioned before. This game has a more unique movement system known as something like an 8-way movement where you're able to move forward, back, left, and right, but you're also able to move diagonally in any direction you want. What makes it different from the full 360 movement we mentioned earlier is that characters are forced to remain on a singular axis with one another. This is why the producer of the game refers to Rebirth of Souls as an axis battle game, because it's designed to always make the characters face each other. This is very similar to traditional 3D fighting games like Tekken, Soul Calibur, and Virtual Fighter, where the characters fight in a 2D plane but have full access to move within a 3D space. Now funny enough, the axis battle system has been used in anime games as well, like Naruto Clash of Ninja, Bleach Heat the Souls, and Dragon Ball Z Budokai. If you guys have played any of these games before, you know that they play completely different from any of the arena fighters we get currently, and I would even say they align a lot closer to traditional fighting games. Now of course they are still anime games at their core, so they still maintain that anime fighter charm. But it's actually good to see that these types of anime fighters are returning in the modern day because they provide another layer to the combat system that a lot of the recent arena fighters don't have, which is ultimately a tie to the movement of the game. These type of games tend to reward players that understand the movement a lot more because any false move could get you cooked. Look no further than Clash of Ninja and the Budokai games. You can definitely tell when someone knows how to properly move in both of those games, and when looking at Rebirth of Souls, it looks like movement is going to play a big factor, as well as the movement itself seems to be taking inspiration from the games like Heat the Souls and Budokai. When I look at Rebirth of Souls' grounded gameplay, it reminds me a lot of Heat the Souls the most, but once characters begin to transition combat to the air, that's when the Budokai vibes begin to hit. This is a huge deal because what this could potentially mean is that the anime fighter space is expanding again and providing unique gameplay systems so that games can have more of their own identity. I would definitely say that in recent years a lot of anime games have been getting a lot of backlash because all of them have been kind of feeling samey and overall have been providing very low budget experiences. My hope with Sparking Zero and Rebirth of Souls though is that this genre of anime games can bring back that spark that older anime games used to and bring out that love and passion similar to how fighting games are being treated right now, especially with those two games specifically. They're trying to bring a more unique and fulfilling experience for anime fans. I know a lot of y'all are probably looking at me crazy and saying that I got all of that from just a camera perspective in Rebirth of Souls. Look, I know it was a lot, but trust me, I feel like it's that important. Rebirth of Souls doesn't stop there though, because the main thing that draws me in and that I'm very excited for is the unique but also confusing combat system. The core combat of Rebirth of Souls is something that I've never seen in an anime fighter, but it has me super excited to see what the game can actually offer. Like I mentioned before, a lot of creators finally got the opportunity to break down the gameplay, and now we have a much better understanding of how the general combat works. Now I'm not about to explain all of that here again because it's a lot to go over, but I'll definitely be sure to leave a lot of the breakdowns that I overall enjoyed down below for you guys to check them out if you haven't seen them yet. But to just give you a quick rundown of everything about Bleach's combat, it's centered around the whole Kompaku system, which are essentially your lives or stocks within the game. The goal is to defeat your opponent by depleting all of their Kompakus, which can be done in many different ways, and how many you deplete depends on a multitude of factors. Let's just say though, once we understand this system properly, we will be able to deplete 6+ Kompaku at once if we meet the right conditions in battle. I mentioned all this to say that this is by far the most unique combat system I've ever seen in an arena fighter, and possibly even a fighting game. The Kompakus themselves remind me a lot of stocks in Smash Bros, where the goal is to eliminate your opponents multiple times until they are completely out of stocks. But here in Rebirth of Souls, they take that concept and turn up the anime by allowing you to take multiple stocks at once as a way of rewarding players for understanding not only the core combat of the game, but the unique traits that their characters carry so that they can maximize their Kompaku depletions. Now, a cool thing I learned when looking at Glocku's breakdown of the combat system is that this game actually has a burst. This is the reverse action system in the game, which is essentially a buff, but it can be used in many different ways like Glocku explained in his video. Activating a neutral triggers soul reverse, which grants you spiritual pressure and reshi, aka meter and health. Activating during a combo triggers chain reverse, which extends your combos and grants spiritual pressure. And activating while being attacked triggers burst reverse, allowing you to break out of combos and recovers your guard gauge. This type of system is something that I'm very used to, as it's known as the burst mechanic in the Guilty Gear series, but it seems like Rebirth of Souls is inspired by not only Guilty Gear's version of burst, but as well as Persona 4 arenas. In both games you have the ability to burst to break out of combos, and in Guilty Gear you have the burst in a neutral that provides you meter build over time. But in Persona 4 arena, this is where the unique idea of allowing burst to extend your combos was introduced, because it triggered the one more mechanic. It's honestly so cool to see a system like this being implemented into an anime fighter, because it honestly has me feel like this development team actually knows what they're doing and they're truly inspired by the fighting game genre. This is so cool to see a system like this being implemented into an arena fighter, because that easily lets me know that the team working on this game are definitely fans of the fighting game genre and potentially understand what it means to make an in-depth combat system. This is definitely something that the genre needs, because like fighting games, anime fighters have the potential to provide very in-depth combat systems while still being simple and easy to pick up for players. I think it's very important for this genre to have that nice balance, because you want the game to be easy enough to get into, but you need a deep enough combat system to maintain players' interest in wanting to learn the game and improve at it. The latter has been the overall weak point of a lot of arena fighters in the past, but maybe with a system like this, Rebirth of Souls could potentially help change that trend and show that arena fighters can have a lot more to them than people think. And I honestly believe it's already doing that. When we're going through and looking at a lot of these different character trailers, we see that every character looks very unique. They all have very unique combat and core systems about them, even to the degree of, like, recently with the Toshido trailer, he has his own meter mechanic that he has to maintain and control, and that's hardly ever shown or applied in any anime fighters. The only anime fighter truly that has gotten close to that, or in recent years have allowed characters to be very complex or at least very unique and different from one another, is with My Hero's One's Justice 2 especially. That game has a lot of characters that are very unique and flexible and all have different combo routes, and that game overall shows how crazy anime fighters can truly be. And they didn't even did something similar with JJK Curse Clash, but of course I know a lot of people aren't fans of how either of those games visually look, which finally lets me lead into the presentation. This game looks absolutely beautiful, and at the moment it might be rivaling the visual fidelity of games like Spark and Zero and the Storm series. We need anime games to continue to look like this, because it allows players to feel a lot more immersed into the series that they love when the game looks just as good as the source material. It also kind of gives us just a little bit of security knowing that the game at least has some form of budget to it, especially for the first game in a brand new series. When looking back at games like One's Justice and JJK Curse Clash, I can say that both of those games have very ambitious combat systems and the characters feel very unique, but those games' budgets are so visibly noticeable that it was really hard for people to get into them and truly give them a chance. Off of just seeing them alone, people instantly thought they were cash grab games because they looked low budget, but under the hood of those games there was actually some substance to them. Same thing with the Hunter x Hunter fighting game coming out later this year. First impressions are very important for games, and especially anime games, because players are getting really tired of spending their money on these games and ending up regretting their purchase in a matter of just days. Now this isn't me saying because Bleach looks good, the game is automatically going to be good. What I'm saying is that we finally are getting another anime fighter that not only looks good but has a promising combat system comparable to games like Sparking Zero, Hinokami Chronicles, and the Storm series early on. The only thing left that Rebirth of Souls needs to deliver on is good to decent netcode and core online features day one. If Rebirth of Souls can have lobbies with spectate mode available on release for players, then again we are already moving into a better direction for anime games, because you guys don't understand how hard it has been to get those very core and basic features into a lot of anime games, especially arena fighters, by the time these games release. I have high hopes for Rebirth of Souls, so much so that I'm actually more excited for that than Sparking Zero, because its overall game quality is just as impressive, but its combat system looks a lot more appealing and interesting to me personally. But I honestly can't wait to play either one of them. All in all, this is why I think Bleach Rebirth of Souls is going to be bigger than a lot of people think. This game is seeming to take a lot of inspiration from fighting games and really popular anime titles from the past, leading me to believe that this development team truly understands what they are doing. I hope they are able to deliver by the time they release and give us the Bleach game we've all been waiting for, because I know Bleach fans have been hungry and super excited for one. I actually just recently got into Bleach this year and just finished reading the Aranka arc, so I'm already super excited and ready for when this game is about to drop. But anyways, you guys let me know in the comment section down below, how excited are you guys about Bleach Rebirth of Souls? Will you be picking it up when it releases? Do you think it's going to be just as good of an anime game as Sparking Zero, or even better? How are you guys overall feeling about the game? Hope you guys enjoyed this video. Remember to leave a like, subscribe to the channel if you are new and you want to see more Rebirth of Souls content, but as well as other anime fighters and fighting game content as well. I know it's been a little minute since we've been covering content on the channel, but we're back. I appreciate you guys, all your love and support, and always remember to believe in you that believes in yourself. I'll see you guys in the next one.